Hey y'all. So, second time trying to record this, so I just kind of wrote it out and wrote it down. So if you see me looking out, I'm just kind of reading. But I have to share my experience from last night. That was just wild to me. So last night I got sent a video from, my goddad. I got sent a video from my goddad on social media, and you think nothing of it when it comes from your goddad, but or people that you have in your circle that whatever. I clicked on it, thinking no harm of it or whatever. It's a video. Of course, people see videos all day. People see TikToks all day or whatever. But it's late. It's about 2:00 at night, and I opened it. And I didn't know what to expect as far as, what it was. I thought it was just like a dance video or whatever. But the way it started, first of all, I knew it was like a hack kind of video. Second of all, it was just weird. I'm not even going to explain it because it just started off really weird and stupid. And it ended up with demonic images showing real fast. And I clicked out of it instantly when it started showing those. But I instantly knew I messed up even opening it. And I clicked out and I started praying, but also low key, I had this fear in me. Even after I prayed, I didn't want to go to sleep. So I watched a podcast for almost 2 hours. I'm a part of the EFAM for Elevation Church, but I guess Pastor Robert Madu, he always comes on and I really like him. So I went to his YouTube channel, Social Dallas, and I started watching one of his podcasts. It was like almost 2 hours, like an hour and 50 minutes. So I watched the whole thing, and I finally got a little bit of oomph to try to go to sleep. So I did. I turned on a music, put it under my pillow, and just kind of let that kind of lull me to sleep. But not even 45 minutes in, y'all, I lie to y'all not, I wake up to hearing as if something entered my room. And I felt someone over me so heavy. And I thought it was my husband because, sometimes he'll, just kind of watch me sleep for a little bit. But it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel innocent. It didn't feel like love. It just felt so weird. And I tried moving and I felt held down. I could not move. I could not speak. I could only begin to think what I wanted to speak. So I'm just in my head like, Jesus, 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 right? And even though my eyes were closed, I could see a shadow get closer to my face, lean close to my face and whisper something. And there, my calling got louder in my head. And then I could feel myself, could move my lips a little bit, but still no sound could come out. I couldn't move, no sound. I'm just mouthing. And I'm saying, Jesus, 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 Jesus in my head, trying to speak it out loud, but nothing could come out, right? And by this time, it's so heavy that I almost started to panic. And because it felt so real, which it was real, it felt so real that somebody was in the room. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's my husband, maybe it's my husband. So I'm saying, bae, mouthing, bae, 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 won't working. So in my head, I'm still, Jesus, Jesus. And I'm like, at this point, like, Lord, help me. And it finally let up. I knew exactly what it was because I used to experience it at least a few times a month while I was in high school. And if y'all knew me in high school, baby, you got to tell me because I barely can remember it. That's how everything is so blocked out in my head. I was fighting, literally. Every month I was fighting. If I didn't have dreams of getting shot, I was fighting demons. And I was hurt. But everything that happened, I eventually learned, to call God in these moments. And it would loose me, after I called Jesus. But also what I learned is the devil ain't gonna fight who he don't feel is a threat. And I started learning warfare. And I would pray and pray and pray some more. And when it would happen, it wouldn't be fear anymore. When I got let go of, when it finally let me go, it would be this anger, like, I'm sick of you. Like, I'm sick of you, devil. Take your hands off me, because you're not stopping nothing. No matter how much you try, no matter how much you try to scare me. So it wouldn't be that I was fearful anymore. After it loosed me, it would just be like, oh my God, I'm so angry. You woke me up again. I was pissed like that. And it's funny now, but that hasn't happened to me in about a year or so. So what I've noticed is every time I'm about to come into something greater or speak to someone that the enemy just doesn't want my words to reach, he attacks me in this way. And it's a sign for me. Like, oh, he mad. But guess what, I'm mad too. And this anger is now towards you, devil. So I'm going to pray and I'm going to war. And I'm going to do everything that you want me not to do, because God has something greater for me to do. And it's funny because before bed, I took my shower or whatever, but I read a chapter in this book called Fervent by Priscilla Shirer. I always get her last name wrong, but basically the book Fervent teach you spiritual warfare, how to pray fervently and strategically. And the specific chapter that I, just flipped open to was about past and being free from your past. And when you're in Christ, you're considered a new creature. And my heart was filled with so much gratitude because God saved me from some mess, right? And what's even funnier, it's not funny, but what's even funnier, earlier in the day, when I was grocery shopping, I saw someone from my past that hurt me bad. And because they had so much of an impact on me then, I've forgiven and moved forward, but I haven't seen this person in years. My heart started beating mad fast. But it was only 2 seconds. It was only 2 seconds. And it was done in 2 seconds. You see somebody, you gonna keep pushing, right? And that's exactly how it was explained in Fervent. Like, she, passed the exit that kind of reminded her of something that was in her past. But once she was past it, God spoke to her and said, basically said, yo, that is it. That was done. That was in your past, and you are past it. You are free from your past. And that's specifically why it hit me so hard, because I'm just like, yo, that was the exact same feeling that I had. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad. I didn't say that in church. I'm so glad that God kind of took me up out of that. And I guess the enemy just really ain't like that. I mean, at all. And he ain't like that I was reading about the power of prayer. He ain't like that I was reading about being free. None of that. And he probably she reading about going to war. Bet, I'm gonna show her something. But after this happened, like this morning, I've developed this kind of saying and mantra for me. Like, there's something that the enemy doesn't want me to see. There's something that the enemy doesn't want me to walk into. There's something that the enemy doesn't want me to have. And there's someone that the enemy doesn't want me to reach. But I won't quit. I will see it. I will walk into it. I will have it. And I will reach who I need to reach. But also, what has been like, wow. And my best friend showed me this when I texted her last night. I always text her like spiritual things because me and her used to war together, like spiritual warfare. Like a lot of people get afraid of those things when you even speak of, demons and the spiritual realm, and they're just like, hey, yo, this is a forbidden, taboo topic. Don't scare me like that. And I get it. I really do get it. It can be a scary thing, but it's real. So I texted her, right? And I told her what happened. And she texted me back this morning. And all I said was basically like, hey, this is what it was. This is what it is. I ain't having it. Now touch and agree with me. Pray over my family like I do for you. And I know you do for me, but in this moment, I need you to intercede with me and for me. And what she said back was, of course she prayed, but what she said back really hit home, because she said, with something so small, with something as small as a video, he saw the opportunities to seep in. And bruh, that hit me so good. It hit me good. Because we have so many unguarded pathways that we give the enemy easy access to. Like, we are literally hearing him knock and saying, hey, come on in, as if he's a close friend, because we're not vigilant. And if the enemy can creep up on us that easily, grown-ups that have the knowledge of prayer, that know how to pray, that know the power of prayer, how much more easy is it for the enemy to creep up in on our vulnerable children, nieces, nephews, whatever, our unsaved partners, our friends? We have open portals to the enemy, literally. And it's that easy. Social media, y'all know, if y'all listen to my podcast, oh my God, I have a love-hate relationship with social media, but I still be up there. And clearly, I deleted it last night, but I'll upload it back to upload this, and I'm getting off. Not because I'm scared, but because, hey yo, I got something to do. But it's easy access. It is. Trust that from my experience alone, if you don't want to trust nothing else. And it's funny because I pray over my TVs. I pray over my daughter's and my son's TVs. And I pray over our phones. Like, I'm old school like my mama, ain't gonna wear to you. And I walk around my house from time to time with my oil. And I open windows and everything. And it's crazy because I just went through the house the other week. I mean, full-blown prayer. I mean, warfare for real. And I opened up my doors and my windows, and I felt so free. It felt so free after that. Like, no, I ain't got demons all up in my house, but, just a fresh anointing and things like that. I pray for fighting angels like Gabriel. Come on down here. Stand guard at my house, okay? I don't care how you look. Y'all know angels ain't pretty looking. They scary looking, but come on, big dog. Stand with me with your scary looking self. I love you. Listen, but but one of my prayers is to make the enemy blind to my family. Like, you can't even see through these windows, my boy. Get out of here. I pray that he has no portals and no eyes to us. And apparently, he needed a way back in. And because I wasn't sober-minded enough and vigilant enough in that moment, I opened the door. I said, hey, come on in. I clicked the video. I let him on in. I wasn't sober-minded enough to say, no, something is off. I shouldn't click this. I wasn't tuned in enough to say, hey, should I click this? I opened the door. But that's okay too, because when you recognize it, God has given us authority to cast the enemy back out and pull down strongholds and say, what you meant for my evil, God turned it around for my good. God turns it around for my good. Lesson learned. But what you attempted has returned back to you void. And now get your ugly self out of here. Like, we have the authority to say that. God is so faithful and so strong and mighty, and we are his, and we fail to realize that sometimes. But you have the authority because God gave it to you. But why it's so important for us to be the gatekeepers for our brothers and our sisters is because while it may be scary, the attacks, sometimes, and just the thought in general, you get the knowledge and the experience firsthand to share, just like, how I am with you to say, hey, wake up to what you're watching, wake up to who you have around, wake up to what conversations you're allowing to happen around you and what you're participating in. Wake up to the words that you're speaking. Get connected with God. Learn his voice. Learn to pray. Learn to pray that you can, so you can counteract and win. It's so good to have community. Someone that can really pray and intercede for you. It don't have to be a million people. My community is my best friend. And I have this e-group for my church that will really war for you and pray for you. Get in touch with some God-like people, right? No, not people that's going to shun you and judge you, but to say, hey, I got you, however that looks for you. That's God's community. And God will confirm who he has around you to let you know that this is divine connection, or these are divine connections. And he affirmed that last night with me because I did share it with my e-group too, just kind of sent a quick message. And one of them sent back one of my favorite songs that I really, it's crazy because I never told nobody about that song how I like it. She sent it back and I played it all night and I fell asleep on it up until before I played this video. I've been playing it on repeat, but that was confirmation for me. So the takeaways that I really got from this whole scenario, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. First of all, Jesus's name is unmatched and will never fail. Never. He will save you, even when it looks scary and you're in the middle of it. Call his name. That's it. And he'll come through. 2 is be vigilant and of sober mind. Okay? And that's not always... It's funny because some people will take that and just say, oh, they're talking about alcohol. No. Sober mind that's not what this is speaking of. This is really be mindful and have that mind to be careful of what you're looking at and knowing different things so you can decipher and determine and have discernment for different things. That's being vigilant and being sober-minded. Pray for discernment even at times when you feel safe. I felt safe. I was in my bed. What you mean? I was scrolling social media, minding my business. And he still said, hey, I'm going to try her. Be mindful. Be mindful of what you watch and the times you watch it. The times you're on social media. If it feels weird, if it looks weird, back up off it, okay? Find a partner or community that will pray for you and with you, and you do the same for them. That's number 3. God ain't done with us yet. And the enemy will just try everything to distract you and cause you fear of moving forward. But don't fear the enemy and don't let him hold you captive from getting what's rightfully yours. Stand up, push. God got you. And I'd rather see what God got for me than to stand captive while the enemy is holding me in the cell with his ugly self. And I ain't did nothing but be God's child. Because I'm like, hey, you were too ugly, but you wanted to go all rogue and try things for yourself and be king, but that ain't work for you. So don't be mad at me. You messed that up, but You know, it's my time. Now lose me. But anywho, that's really all I had for y'all. I love y'all so much. It's gonna be okay. And I pray y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Until next time.